This is not just history, this is a warning. The story of Africa's struggle for unity is not over. It is unfolding right now. It's a story of ambition, betrayal, and honestly, a dream that just refuses to die. You're watching The Strategic Brief, where we decode the past, to understand the present, and define Africa's future. For the best in African and global news, delivered with depth and vision, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. DE Strategic Brief, Decoding Africa, Defining the Future. The story of Pan-Africanism began long before independence. Visionaries like Garvey, Du Bois, and Sylvester Williams dreamed of a connected, liberated Africa. They fought an empire that saw our continent as property. In 1884, Europe met in Berlin to divide Africa for its own gain. Yet from the darkness rose voices of hope. Pixley Ka Isaka Simi spoke of the regeneration of Africa. And when Ghana gained independence in 1957, Kwame Nkrumah declared, "The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa." He understood a truth we still struggle with today. A decolonized but disunited Africa will remain weak. At the dawn of independence, Africa faced a fateful choice. Nkrumah and the Casablanca Group called for immediate unity. One government, one army, one currency. They warned that delay would open the door to neocolonial control. But the Monrovia Group, led by Haile Selassie and others, urged gradualism. In 1963, the Organization of African Unity was born, a symbol of togetherness, but without real power. Nkrumah's prophecy soon came true. Lumumba, Olympio, Nkrumah himself. All removed by coups and assassinations. The colonial system didn't vanish, it simply changed its methods. Today, the cost of that disunity is clear. Politically, Africa speaks, but the world barely listens. Economically, we are 54 small markets instead of one powerful bloc. Only 15% of our trade happens within Africa. 80% of it still uses foreign currencies. Industrially, we produce almost nothing ourselves. No major car industry, no strong pharmaceutical base, not even the phones in our hands. And we remain divided by colonial ghosts. Anglophone, Francophone, Lusophone. Different visas, currencies and phone codes, an infrastructure of separation. From Ethiopia to the Congo, from Mozambique to Mali, Africa bleeds. Our people flee across deserts and seas, desperate for dignity. One young woman, rescued from the Mediterranean, said she'd rather die again than return home. What does that say about us? As Chinua Achebe wrote, "Besor warta dead bio. Then sor datsanan, sor." The trouble, resorable with Nigeria, and with Africa, is a failure of leadership. We have turned power into privilege, and service into spectacle. Our leaders are called excellency, even when their nations crumble beneath them. But all is not lost. The time for slogans is over. Now begins strategic Pan-Africanism. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a start, but we must go further. We must demand one African passport for free movement, a single continental currency, one telephone code for seamless connection, a unified continental defense to secure our peace, a confederation, not domination, one voice for Africa in global affairs. Because if we do not unite, we will fragment, and in 25 years our nations may multiply. Not in strength, but in weakness. Pixley Ka Isaka Simi said Africa's diversity is not a curse, it's a song. Like a piano, our black and white keys can play a melody of unity. The challenge is ours, this generation's. It will be long, it will be hard, but as Kwame Nkrumah said, it can't be done, and it must be done. Because the regeneration of Africa is not a dream, it is destiny. This is The Strategic Brief, bringing you the stories that shape Africa's tomorrow. Subscribe, and be part of the journey toward a united and powerful continent.